Hey guys, I'm Christina from metaCOLLECTIVE. metaCOLLECTIVE is the first investment DAO on Solana. I'm here to present the best Solana-based projects. And looking deep in the sea of projects, today we are with SharkyFi. Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. First of all, wanted to tell you that this is going to be a weekly series of us having Twitter spaces with the best emerging projects on Solana, and of course shared with our community. We've seen Sharky on Prague Hacker House and obviously loved it. I want to thank you from the all members of metaCOLLECTIVE team for joining us today and having this chat with us.
Hey, thank you for having us.
So, probably most of our listeners already know, but can you go ahead and introduce Sharky to our community, what it does, and maybe also introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. My name is Anton. I'm one of the co-founders, and Ria is also here. She's another co-founder, but unfortunately, she lost her voice, so I'll be her voice today. Yeah, we started Sharky around December. Sharky is NFT collateralized lending. So in simple words, I guess, like in traditional world, if you go to a bank, you can take out a loan and maybe use your home or your car as collateral. Sharky allows you to do something similar. You can come to Sharky and take out Solana and use your NFTs as collateral. So that essentially what Sharky does.
Mm-hmm. The reason why I think Sharky is a game changer is that like every collector had that experience when they want to buy new NFT but have no enough funds for it. But at the same time, they don't want to go through their collection thinking, well, which one do I like the least? So I think Sharky is basically win-win. You get to keep your NFT while adding new ones to your collection, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you can borrow Solana and mint new NFTs or buy new NFTs, and if you believe like price will go up, that's kind of like your opportunity to then repay the loan and end up with even more NFTs.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. My next question is personally interested. How was the idea generation process? How did the idea to create Sharky came to your mind?
Oh, yeah, it's a good question. I think originally we had like lots of like debates in Discord of like what we want to build. And I'm coming from real estate background, like real estate, not metaverse real estate. Now everybody assumes metaverse when I say that. And we kind of like we got passionate about NFTs as a community first, like even before we understood the value of like NFTs and just like in general why people are so hype about them. Like we really like NFT community on Solana, and so our idea was like, well, we want to build a product for that community, and coming from like real estate, it was like natural convergence of two ideas, I guess. What is the best kind of like product? Like I think is the one that not only brings value for NFT holders, but also like educates NFT holders. How to make more yield. And so bridging this like NFTs and DeFi was a natural fit. So, and then we looked at Ethereum with like other projects and platforms there. And I think we designed Sharky to be better with what we saw at the time. And core betterment of life was the instant liquidity. So that was our core user experience. Yeah, and another like core user experience feature I think was that holders can keep NFT in their wallet during loan duration or the term duration. And I just think nobody was thinking that way back then. And yeah, that's how it was born.
Amazing. You're literally doing an amazing job introducing financial tooling system around NFTs, which will obviously give them additional infrastructure and make NFTs more have more utility in general.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's cover more for people who are still wondering what is the problem and what solution is SharkyFi providing.
Yeah, I think the problem is that NFTs are like a traditional art. It's essentially an investment. So you would buy that, like, doesn't matter if it's art or it has utility. You bought something unique that you now keep. And those money that you invested, they are not at works. They provide like NFT could provide utility or like artistic value. but pretty much the capital is locked in. So that is a problem. And in traditional world, you can liquidate that. Like you can borrow against the traditional art, like and turn this capital into put it to work, but not in Solana, not in the NFT space yet. And that's the solution for that is first solution to this is lending and borrowing infrastructure. So now you can have that liquidity, at least in some percentage of it be available, and you can reinvest it to the market, whether it's NFT space or any other investment opportunities. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Definitely agree. Any NFT that like has no additional utility and is just something that you're really proud of or you want to show off. Now, if you start being able to provide liquidity for it, it makes NFTs much more powerful in general.
Yeah. It's like any new asset class. I think eventually that's it has like certain price point. Eventually, there are financial products that like evolve around them, and I think lending is just like one of the most powerful and popular ones.
Exactly. So, my next question is, well, let's say I need to trade something, but I don't have enough souls in my wallet, but I don't really want to sell anything from my collection. So we already talked that Sharky was actually born to solve that problem. And what do I do, and how do I use Sharky?
Yeah, so you come to Sharky.fi, and if we support your collection and we'll be adding support for more and more collections, you pretty much just will see, like you connect your wallet, you'll see that we support the collection, and you click borrow. You select which NFT from your wallet you want to borrow against. Click borrow button and you're done. It's supposed to be as simple as humanly possible, and that would be your experience. Then you can borrow against multiple NFTs, of course. We're starting with fixed term loans. It's 2-week loans, fixed duration, and you can repay it anytime. At the end of the term or in the middle. So yeah.
Interesting. Let's say that's the thing that impresses me about SharkyFi is that the fact that you allow borrowers to hold the NFT even though they are using it as collateral in their wallet. But the important thing is to mention that during the loan it will be non-transferable, right? Meaning you can send it to your friend or sell it.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, what demand do you see in Solana NFT Marketplace, which obviously leads to creating and building Sharky?
Yeah, obviously it was like growing really fast, like last August to November. It was like the major growth. Then when we entered this like bear market, I think like it kind of like flattened, and now it's growing again, like in last week, like when we exit in the bear market. But I think it's a natural kind of like cadence of the market, and I think Solana NFTs, as NFTs in general, will just continue growing at a very high rate. And the two big plays here, lots of games are coming to Solana because only Solana makes it possible to have like high frequency transactions like that. So I've heard like from a lot of like big players in the space that they're planning to build a game on Solana or bring an existing game and like use NFTs for like tradable assets and all of that. And I think second kind of like point of like why I'm so bullish on NFTs, just like 9 months ago, when I would speak in my other communities that are not crypto related about NFTs, nobody would know about them and be like, oh, what are NFTs? Like, can you explain this to me? And now when I speak to other people, again, I meet them on like random, like, friends that I haven't talked in a while, or like some other groups that are not even like in engineering at all. People, majority knows what NFTs are. And I was like, oh, like, okay, let me explain what my project, like I founded does, like my company, like, let me explain what NFTs are, and folks are typically like, oh, I know what NFTs are, like, duh. We're like, okay. And I think that just like there is evidence for like education that most people are aware of that, even though most people are not aware of like crypto. And I think they're coming. So yeah, they're coming to Solana, they're coming to Ethereum.
Yeah, it blew up really like quickly.
Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure it will make some changes in secondary markets as well, right? I mean, the prices will go up.
Yeah, it seems that way. Like right now, at least, like there's a lot of hype, like from exiting this like bear market. Like lots of collections seeing like improved like trading volume and like floor prices going up. There's some new investors coming into the space, and when I say investors, it's mostly like NFT collectors, people like
Yeah,
you and I. It's not
enthusiast.
like
Yeah.
institutional investors. Yeah.
What is your vision for SharkyFi, and what are the next steps for it?
Yeah, it's a good question. So right now, the vision in next steps is like to expand as fast as possible, to integrate with like all platforms that make sense to integrate. Through that, like increase volume of capital in lenders, and through that, like start decreasing as much as possible interest rates that we provide. So like ultimately we're building, our goal is to build products for NFT aware community that helps them make additional yield, whether they're NFT holders or they invest in the space and they want to provide liquidity. And for that, we need to create market efficiency. So for that, we need like proper financial models and trading volume. And that's the goal, is to like reduce these margins as much as possible. So then we can help both sides of our community to earn more and more over time. That's Sharky's goal. Not just like help learn through like providing financial product, but also through education. Like our core thesis is that a lot of DeFi projects building, DeFi for DeFi. It's kind of like very closed up, exclusive community, and we want to be a project that builds, that educates, people that are not DeFi experts how to make yield, how to benefit from holding NFTs or providing liquidity and backing up collections through that. That's our vision till at least we feel confident, like, oh, this is like a new financial primitive that now everybody is aware how to use and like how to benefit from.
Yeah.
And then we'll focus on next generation of financial tools. There's a lot of like depending how gaming and metaverses will evolve, there is a lot of like financial tools around that, like renting, mortgages, like you name it. There's a lot of like things that can happen.
Yeah, sounds amazing. Also, it's not like you have to list your NFT and wait for some lender to show up or wait for some offers. That's the historical model that we've seen on Ethereum NFTs, which is like not quite perfect if you need some quick cash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're willing to sell way below the floor price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
for sure.
makes Sharky protocol so handy.
Yeah. The premise of like instant liquidity is like at the core as well. I think we recognize there's like two types of users, like maybe like blue chip holders, somebody who holds NFT that's really, really valuable, and obviously they don't want to sell it.
Yeah.
And other like type of users who hold like mixed bag, kind of like lots of NFTs, like of all kinds. And this like second type of users is pretty much 95% of of the holders, and we're trying to serve that population first. And then for like the select 5 that have blue chip NFTs, they still can borrow on Sharky. We just won't be able to give them like accurate loans. But yeah, that's the idea. Like start from like large scale, like majority of population, and narrow it down.
Sounds great. Also, I know that you do partnerships, right?
Mhm.
Why to be like collection lender in SharkyFi, and what are the benefits of it?
Yeah, so I think there are quite a few benefits. For example, if collection is willing to provide their own liquidity, that's a very strong signal to community that one, we're here to stay. We want to increase utility for all the NFTs and kind of like reinvest in our own community, like reinvest portion of treasury funds. And it's not a donation. It's like collection can take out liquidity back anytime. So it's very low risk, kind of like provide liquidity, make additional yield for treasury. I think a lot of collections treasuries struggle to have like consistent revenue stream. The only revenue stream most of them have is like fees from trading volume, and that just brings additional stream of revenue for treasuries. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and and I think another category there is like when even for new collections, when mint is just happening, if collections partner with us to set aside portion of minting budget that goes to lending like shortly after the mint, that also can send really strong signal, because we will lock in this liquidity. It's not like, oh, they planning to like rack and leave. So it's very kind of like anti-rack mechanics as well. And I think we'll start seeing this behavior in the market, as soon as like other collections follow or start doing this, like majority will follow, kind of like, well, if you're not doing this, what kind of signal you send into your community. That's what we're trying to achieve. Like we did
Yeah,
this.
that's definitely a green flag. As you mentioned, it will like directly expand horizons for NFT collections as well. Like this also can they can also market this to their community, so the community will know if I get this NFT, then I already have so much access to utility.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
for like founder is this is kind of way that telling that I'm going to build for my project. If I'm putting a portion of my proceeds from the mints as an instant loans that people can take out directly, well, that's a strong conviction.
Yeah, exactly. I think, yeah, you explained it really well.
We already mentioned that you can allow people to take a loan against their NFT while keeping it in their wallet. Obviously, sounds awesome, but what system and what makes it possible?
Oh yeah. So there is a friendly team and protocol called Cardinal. We're good friends and partners with them, so they enable this kind of functionality. If you haven't heard about them, like go check it out. It's cardinal.so. It's a foundational protocol in Solana, but basically it allows to have all kinds of like rules and logic around ownership and transfership of NFT. For example, NFT can have like time-based expiry. Like for example, I would buy concert ticket and it will become invalid, and maybe even leave my wallet like after the concert, or like or I will rent something like like an asset to somebody and want to take it back in 2 days, and that could be automated. And so they act on technical level, I guess, like they act as a freeze authority. So like that whenever NFT get transferred, like so like to lock NFT in your wallet, it basically they would like wrap it in this freeze authority, in transfer authority, and then it becomes kind of like non-transferable, but also becomes revocable. Um, in Sharky, like us, with just like one use case for that protocol. Like basically, whenever somebody defaults on the loan, we would want to kind of like revoke that NFT from the wallet and transfer it to liquidity provider. But there are many other use cases, like I mentioned, like like um, in-game renting, or concert tickets, or maybe attendance verification, and
Mm-hmm.
lots of things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So basically, anyone can use Sharky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what trending platforms are you looking to integrate with? Are you also considering other platforms besides exchanges?
Yes. So we're considering for integration right now, classic lending platforms and like trading platforms like Mango Markets, Solon, Port Finance, Aldrin Dex. Considering integrating with marketplaces like Holoplex, Magic Eden, like Digital Art, like Digitalize, and like others on Solana. It's like pretty much we're now limited by our capacity to built-ins. It's mostly limited by that, but I think anywhere where you see NFTs, we want you to see like borrow button there, powered by Sharky, and I think that's the plan for the user. I think it just like should be very straightforward, like to take out a loan. Like, and I think the most straightforward experience is like to be like at convenience of their favorite platform already, and like if they see NFTs there, they should just get liquidity and like put that liquidity to work whenever they are, whether it's like manga markets or like other platforms.
Yeah, 100% agree. Also, my next question is what do you see as the next big development for NFTs? We see that they are being used for building gated communities, for staking, and what do you think comes next?
Yeah, I already mentioned it a little bit. Like, I think what
Mm-hmm.
comes next for Solana is gaming. I think
Yes.
NFTs will, like, right now a lot of like teams kind of like promising, well, here is the NFT. We're gonna mint our NFTs. We're gonna
Yeah.
use it as like public fundraise, and then game is coming down the line. I expect more and more projects with reverse promises coming to play to space. Kind of like, hey, here is the game, play it, like it, kind of like, and here's the NFT that we provide. Like one of our like friends like is building Laddercaster. That's that kind of game. It's like no false promises, kind of like game first, NFT second. So go check them out as well. But I expect more and more games like that, and that will really like 100x NFT usage on Solana. I think there's like just so much that can be done, and like those communities, like gaming communities, are huge, and people who play competitive games, especially, they're very trading financial minded. So that kind of like is a natural fit for our product and for like NFT space in general.
Yeah, totally. It will affect the best ways possible to Sharky.
Yeah,
Well, we're coming to the end. Let's see if there is people who have any questions.
sure.
Hello guys, I'm super excited, about what you're building and to use like Sharky like in real life. What about like on the roadmap? When we expect, that we can use like Sharky. Also like I hope metaCOLLECTIVE soon will buy like some NFT and then we'll provide liquidity on Sharky as well.
Oh yeah, awesome. So yeah, when we're in private DevNet testing right now, showing to like partners, and yeah, we can give it to like metaCOLLECTIVE already, and mainnet is coming very shortly. We're mostly figuring out like our like marketing kind of like in like maybe like in 1 or 2 weeks we'll announce like what is the specific day for that. But yeah, so we're mostly like deciding on like how to announce and align all the marketing materials. But yeah, we product is already working now, like finding issues, fixing bugs if any. So far none, but yeah.
Hi, I got another
Luz,
question. This is Nocte from metaCOLLECTIVE. I was wondering, like, what if there's like any difference between NFT, like one out of one, where you have like a one single NFT compared to say like a collection in order book model. Like, is there any difference? Like, does it complicate somehow what Sharky does, or is it the same?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, I think it definitely complicates, like for one of ones, complicates the appraisal model and financial model. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to create order book just for one NFT. I think the way we're thinking, we will create it per creator. So like how you see creators on like Holoplex, for example, we'll create order book for that creator, and then borrowers will be able to borrow like against like any NFT of that creator, and that way easier for us to price that kind of like based on their historical performance, like auction performance. It's still a much more manual process than with like classic collections, but definitely possible.
And then, I mean, I got like another question. If other people are shy, I mean, this is like not connected to Sharky directly, but I was wondering like, what are your favorite NFT? Like, which collections are you part of?
It's hard to pick a favorite. I'm long-term believer into Pesky Penguin. It was like one of the first collections I discovered. Really like, I don't know, just art and community. Yeah, and obviously Solana Monkey Business is like one of the favorite communities. Solana Money Boys is a new kind of like favorite. Also, like recently discovered D-Gods. Everybody's hype about them. And I also have Soulscape. I really liked how they developed kind of like their NFT. They made it like configurable. It was like very like non-traditional. Like typically you mint NFT, you get a random one. They kind of like reverse that, kind of like pre-configure attributes and then you mint them. So that was interesting as well.
This is not financial advice. This is artistic advice.
Well, if you don't have any questions, I guess this is it. Once again, thanks for joining us today. It was very interesting to learn more about Sharky. We're pretty sure it's gonna take over.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, from metaCOLLECTIVE team, wishing you the best luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.